Hi everybody, I'm Chris Magra. I'm the director of the Center for the Study of Tennesseans and War at the University of Tennessee, and we research, preserve, and share the stories of veterans in our region. And we're privileged today to sit down with a veteran and talk about her story. So if you want to introduce yourself and let people know where and when you were born.
Okay. I'm Mary Alexander, and I'm the chaplain for the East Tennessee Women's Veterans Foundation. And I'm so proud that we have these breakfasts that we can come to and get together for the camaraderie. I was born in 1940, and my birthday is September 20th.
Oh, it's coming up.
It's coming up, and I'll be 85.
All right.
So I'm just pleased to be here with Chris.
And where were you born?
I was born in the Finger Lakes area of upstate New York, and migrated to Boston and then down to D.C. and met my husband who passed away. We had 50 years together. So met my husband and we moved to Tennessee.
And did you have any family members who served?
Actually, I have 4 uncles that served, and my father did not. They would not let him, and he was devastated. He went to 5 counties all the way around trying to get in, and they sent word to the recruits he can't come in because he was a metal worker. He worked in a workshop, and it was considered So he did not get to go in, but he did get a commemoration from the government, which surprised me because I found it in his papers, and it was a very nice accreditation to those who worked in the essential industries during the war.
And did you hear any family stories growing up that motivated your own military service?
I think between my 4 uncles, I think I got enough that when I was in high school, my aspiration was I was going to be a secretary. I would take dictation and type things, and then I would go in the military. That was all I wanted to do. So right out of high school, I enlisted and went straight to Lackland Air Force Base. And there I am, a country kid. My first plane ride, and it was amazing.
Where do you think that desire to serve came from?
I don't know. And I think it came in because of all of my family, the uncles and that I associated with. They were like dads to us. There were 26 of us first cousins, so we were all close. And I think it was my uncle.
And why the Air Force?
Fly high.
Yeah.
I love planes. I love planes.
Yeah.
Even now, the F-16 fighter is my plane.
Yeah. And so was this around 1958? You're 18 years old?
18. Yep. Fresh off the farm.
Fresh off the farm. Okay. And so you enlisted in 1958, and where did you do your basic training here?
Basic training was at Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio.
Yep.
And then I went to tech school up in Amarillo. And then my permanent base was Waco, Texas, James Conley Air Force Base. And it's amazing, my whole Air Force career was Texas.
Do y'all want to do this again? I got a girl.
You were saying that you enlisted in the Air Force in 1958. You really liked planes, and you had 4 uncles who had served, and they were telling stories as you were growing up.
Yes.
And then you did your basic training. And what was after basic?
After basic, I went to a tech school in Amarillo, Texas.
Okay.
And that was fabulous. I loved Amarillo. upstate New York was hilly and tree and fields of green and stuff, and Amarillo is opposite.
Yep.
And it was a very nice base. The people in town were very, very nice too. The people, the military people that were there. And actually now it's an Osprey research and development. I think it's fabulous that those bases carry on when, yeah.
Now, were there many women at the tech school in Amarillo with you?
I would say in the tech school there was probably, it was about 50-50.
Okay. All right. Yep. That's pretty good. That's pretty progressive for the 1950s.
Yeah.
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 And in the 1950s, we were not called soldiers. We were still ladies.
Yeah.
And act appropriately.
Yes.
You know, so that was important for our thing.
What sorts of things did you do at the tech school?
Well, we learned how to fill out forms, and back then there were no computers. There wasn't even electric typewriters. They were just coming in, and the military hadn't quite caught up with technology at that point. So there was still the old typewriter, and you had to learn how to space it, because on the forms that there are lines, and you don't type on the line, and you don't type way above it because you'll get in another line. So you had to know how your typewriter acted in putting the letters and numbers in. And that was mostly the effective, I guess I want to say, it was a technique that we had to learn.
For sure.
That most high schools don't even, they don't care about military forms.
Yeah.
But that at Amarillo was where we learned to do that.
Now, are you hearing news about the Cold War, the Soviet Union, the space race? Is any of that, are you hearing much of that?
I think when military are together, it's the camaraderie that we focus on. Very seldom do I find that another veteran or another military person is advanced in their thinking about world
affairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just.
You're at Amarillo. You're in tech school, and you're learning.
You're in Texas.
And you're learning to do these forms, and you're proud to be in the military.
Oh yes.
And
that
was enough for you. The world affairs and international relations were above your pay grade.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's a good phrase.
Yeah.
That's a good phrase.
So what was after tech school?
Tech school was my permanent base in James Conley Air Force Base in Waco, Texas.
Okay.
My husband unfortunately called me the wacko from Waco.
Yeah.
And I had to tell him I was not a whack.
Right.
I was a waff.
Yeah. Yep. So you stayed in Texas.
So I stayed in Texas.
Okay. And how long were you?
Okay. There's a slight
Yes.
problem there.
Yeah.
I was married and got pregnant.
Yep.
And at that time, women could not stay in the military pregnant.
Yes. And was this at Amarillo or was this at Waco?
At Waco.
Okay. You got married at Waco.
Mm-hmm.
Were we talking 59, 1960?
Yeah.
Somewhere about
Yeah,
there?
1960.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you
I
met your...
had just come up for my E3 rating and been approved, and the day they were going to announce it, I get the telephone call from the hospital saying I'm pregnant, and I'm out the door.
Now, what did you think about that then, and what do you think about it now? You were going to get married. You met your husband. Were you thinking that you would have a career in the military when you met your
definitely.
husband?
I had no plans whatsoever to get out of the military.
And so then you got married. Then you had.
And he was a tech sergeant, so
Okay.
he was an Airman 3 when I met him, but he stayed in and went to Europe. And when I got pregnant, I had to go home.
So you met him in the Air Force, and you got married, had a baby, and when you got married and when you had a baby, are you still thinking, I'm going to have a career? And were you surprised then when the Air Force said you have to leave?
As soon as they knew I was pregnant, like it was 4 months, it was out of it.
Yeah. Was that
There
a surprise?
is now a bill before Congress. It's HR 660 that wants to reimburse those women who were involuntarily separated because of pregnancy. And it hasn't gone very far, but it is there, and it should have been. We should not have had to get out.
So this was 1960, and you were surprised then by it. You expected to have a career in the military.
I did.
Yeah. And I can tell it's disappointing to you now, even all these years later.
Yeah. Well, you know, I'm a veteran.
Yes.
And I was proud of my service.
Yeah, you should.
And, you know, and then they,
Yes.
you know, and that was disappointing. It was like, no value.
Yeah.
No value.
Yeah.
The interesting thing
What
is,
did your husband think about this?
well, by that time we were,
Yeah.
and he went to Europe and
Yeah.
I went home to New York.
Okay.
So,
With the baby
with the baby, yep,
in New York
yeah, in New York
in the 1960s.
in the 1960s, yep.
Yeah. And what did you do in New York?
Well, I went to work waitressing, and then I got some really good jobs, being a office personnel and receptionist, and then I went to Boston. You know, most people from small towns gravitate toward the large town because of the jobs, you know. Perfect. So I went out to Boston and worked for Honeywell back when they had an electronic data processing thing. That was computers. That was where I met my second husband, whom I stayed married to for 50 years. So
Used your technical training that you
Yeah.
learned in the Air Force?
yeah.
Yeah.
The Air Force taught me so much, coming from a little bitty area and being in a big, and really the Air Force is like a company, you know, and but it made me lose my shyness, and my personality comes out, and you know, and then I'm using just the confidence that being a military gives us. And I lament to this day that more people don't go in the military. It is such an opportunity, and you know, and I not only to have your own confidence, but be useful at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, that's very important. And I think it set me up for what I did. My second husband and I, we went under the Southern Baptist. We were Mission Service Corps, Army. And so we stayed 22 years, and we were in the Northern Plains, North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana, Wyoming, and all of that confidence and the ingenuity that the military brings on, you know, things go wrong and you got to figure it out. Yeah. And so we worked up there 22 years.
Wow.
So it was like, I'm still in the Army,
Yep.
even though it's airport. But I'm in God's Army.
Yeah.
So.
Yes. Well, a couple of things stick out to me. You're in the Air Force when the Air Force is young.
Yes.
The Air Force was a pretty new thing in the 50s.
Yes,
And-
absolutely brand new.
Yeah, and you had to be one of the earliest women in the
Yes.
newly created Air Force.
Yes.
were you cognizant of that? Were you
I
just
don't
young
think
and
so.
enthusiastic and you just did it?
We just did it.
Yeah.
We just did it.
Yeah.
We had,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. You weren't thinking, this is sending a political message. You weren't thinking you're making
No.
a statement by joining the military and the Air Force.
We
in
just wanted to
particular.
be part of something that was bigger than us.
Yes.
Bigger than us.
You just had that in your heart to serve.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
What did your parents think about you joining the military?
Not too much.
Mm-hmm.
Although my mother was accepted. In fact, she had a little flag pin that was or the little yellow ribbon, only it was a flag,
Yeah.
and she wore that every day I was in.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, bless her.
she was my go-to person.
Yeah, yeah,
She'd write me every day.
yeah.
And being at mail call and your name is never called is so depressing. So I was thankful. And she got other people to write.
Mm-hmm. That's great. Good
Yeah,
for her.
it really was.
Yeah, so
And
she
I've
was
got
really
a lot
supportive.
of those letters that
Mm-hmm.
I just reread this week because I'm moving now into an not assisted living, an independent living facility because my 3-bedroom, 2-bath house is too big for me.
Yeah.
And I'm just over home ownership.
Yeah. Now, did you face any criticism when you joined the military? Any of your friends or any of your
Yes.
family say, you know what, maybe you should be in the house and have a family and
Well,
be happy with that?
the one that voiced the opinion was a boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I didn't know you were that kind of a person. And, you know, well,
What do you think he meant by that?
I think he meant that he didn't know that I was a lesbian or something.
Mm.
Because that's the only ones that the women that went in there were lesbians.
Mm. Wow. Yeah.
And I thought a lot of things.
Yeah.
I won't repeat them.
Sure. But you did it. You wanted to serve, and your mother was very
I
supportive.
was very
of you.
proud to serve.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think because of the stance that my father took and his brothers and his brother-in-laws, you know, they all served. I had an uncle that went in the Army. And you know what he did? He was a cake maker.
Sure. Sure.
A cake maker.
Yeah.
And he went all over the world
Yep. Cooks,
making
bakers,
cake.
musicians. The military
yeah.
needs them all.
Yeah.
Now, when you were at basic training, when you were at Amarillo and then Waco, all before you had the baby,
Mm-hmm.
which seems to be the thing. Like getting married wasn't an issue.
No,
You being a woman in the military,
it wasn't an issue.
yeah. And I wanted to talk to you about that. I mean, did any of the male officers at any point kind of question, like, what are you doing here?
Well, I grew up with 2 brothers.
Okay, yeah.
Isolated on a farm.
Yeah.
I just never had the I guess I never threw out the vibes
Yeah.
that I was,
Yeah.
you know, if you were a man, you were just a buddy.
Yeah.
You know, that's all it was. And I never gave off those vibes, but I feel sorry for the gals that unknowingly do that by wearing skimpier clothes and everything. You know, I lament for them because they've missed the friendship part.
And so it was never an issue for you? No one ever told you at any point, hey, if you really want a career in the Air Force, you shouldn't get married or you shouldn't have children?
Nope.
You know,
And
so it was just a
that
total
was-
shock to you that happened.
Well, yeah, but I would have to get out when I
Yes.
got pregnant.
Yeah, yeah.
And I went back to my old introduction to the Air Force book that I still have, and I was rereading it, and I was trying to find in that where it says that if you get pregnant, you will have to get out. Except one little sentence way down in the bottom of a page in column 1, and it says, if you happen to have a child, we hope your experiences in the Air Force will help you. That's all they said,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
They never said in big words or something, you know.
Yeah.
Little teeny words,
Yeah, and no officer ever told you, listen, your career's gonna end
Nope.
if this happens.
No. I never ran across those that said I would have to put out
Yeah.
if I wanted a career.
Yeah.
I never ran across them. Never.
What would you say to somebody today in 2025 who's watching this and says, yeah, but you know, I really don't think women should serve in the military? What would you say to them?
I would say, why do you think that?
Mm-hmm.
There are plenty of jobs. Look at what the women are doing now. We're finding we are as strong as the men physically. You have to train for it, but yeah, you know, and we can get down and dirty just like you guys do. You know, why do you reject the help that the women bring? And I don't know, I think they've just had this concept that women are weak and women are supposed to be pretty. You know, it's all ridiculous.
And what do you say to the people who are watching this who say, I'm on board with you that women can serve in the military, but I'm uncomfortable with saying that when you're pregnant and you have children that you can stay in the military? What would you say to that?
Well, I have to preface it with my own personal.
Of course.
I think if you have children, your regard should be for your children. And now when you're a woman in there and you have children, you have to designate special people to take your children if you're overseas or you have some assignment that the children can't go. You have to find people to take care of them, and I kind of had a problem with that. I think when you have children, you're supposed to take care of them. I didn't know how I was going to do it, you know, but...
I don't think anybody does. There's no manual.
I know. But
you don't feel that they should be kicked out of the military?
No, I do not. It should be a choice if they want. But the men have a choice. You know, the men can get out if they have kids. They can do that.
Yeah.
You know.
And you would counsel women to focus on their children, but if they decided to stay in and have a career in the military, you would say then that's fine.
Yeah, I would not diss them for preferring the military.
Yeah.
Sometimes deployments can be helpful.
Yes.
In certain circumstances. So, you know, I just feel like sometimes the women are just disrespected, and they're just not given the chances. I don't know what I would have done. I mean, I would have gone on a deployment, and you know, I'm a farmer girl, you know, I can shoot a rifle. I got good rifle training, and I can do all that stuff. But if I have a child that's 10,000 miles away from me, my heart's not going to be in it.
Yeah.
But that's me.
That's you.
That's me.
And you have a servant's heart, and you found a way to serve for most of your life.
Yep.
It could have been service in the military. It could have gone that way.
It could have.
And it
And most likely I would have ended up as a chaplain or something as I am now. So,
right.
yeah.
Yep. Anything that you want to say to women out there who are considering a career in the military? They're 18 years old, they just finished high school, and they're thinking about it. What would you say to those youngsters?
I would say take enlist. It is so worth it. You get structure, you get supervision, you get how-tos. And really, at your age, 18, you're dumb. You know, and I know they're all thinking, yeah, but I was dumb. And I needed instructions, and I needed somebody to say, bedtime is this time, get up and breakfast is at this time. And I needed that discipline of myself to be able to go out in the world and act on my own and make my own choices to better the world. I like to think of women veterans are thinking 25 years down the line. They're thinking 50 years down the line. And they're thinking the world has got to change. And hopefully I'm part of the change.
And that's a good place to end.
Yeah.
With change and hope for the future.
Yes.
And so nice to sit down and talk to you, and thank you for sharing your story with
Thank you
us.
for asking me. That means a lot.
You got it.
Yeah.
All right.